Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, thank you for joining us on another episode of The Rope That Binds Us, ahlusunnah waljama'aah. Last episode we were talking about interacting with the ruler of a non-Muslim country or non-Muslim rulers and with the system in a non-Muslim's country, how the person can be part of this system and society. And we said that it's very important for the Muslim who is living in a non-Muslim society to realize that he's part of that society and that community, and he goes by the rule of that country. He goes by the rule of that country since he chooses to live there. And we also warn the Muslim from having a double standard when they live there, or two faces. One is that person who's proud to be from this country and to do and to promote and to say and to take advantage of being there. But on the other hand, he also might be he will not add or contribute positively to this society. Whenever a Muslim exists, wherever he will be exist, he should always contribute good to the society. He always should contribute good to the society and be a positive element in the society. Now, in this episode, I would like to talk about something very similar to the last episode, but instead of talking about interacting with the system, what about interacting with the society? With the society or with the community and not with the system in that society. So here I'm going to mention some rules or the ruling regarding dealing with non-Muslims in general. First of all, we should remember that we have duty towards them, which is da'wah, calling them and telling them about Islam. And when we talk about da'wah, it means inviting them to Islam. So to invite them to Islam, but this is not the only thing. There is one more. Explaining the message of Islam to them. What's the difference between these two? So many people think that da'wah, it means that I have to invite them to Islam. I have to tell them why you don't become a Muslim or became a Muslim or trying to convert them to Islam. But also sometimes it's not about inviting and converting them to Islam. That's the first goal. But also explaining the message of Islam to them. Telling them what Islam really is. Give them the right picture or the correct picture of Islam. So many people I met in my life, among the non-Muslims, they don't know what Islam is. What's the real meaning of the word Islam? What is Islam is talking about? And unfortunately, I have seen also some people who talk about Islam, address people about Islam. They don't talk about the main concept in Islam, which is the concept of Tawheed. The concept of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. They don't talk about the concept of Muhammad Rasulullah or the testimonies that the Muslim will become Muslim through it, which is the bear witness that Allah is the only one worthy of worship and Muhammad is his messenger. Try to prove to people that Muhammad was a messenger of Allah and he was sent to all humanity. People sometimes concentrate on minor issues or an issue that people talk about it, and it's not the issues will make the person Muslim or not. Like talking about the issue of polygamy, jihad, or some issues like women rights and things like that. It's good to talk about it, but make sure that we tell them about what is really Islam is about. What will make the person Muslim? The pillars of Iman and the pillars of Islam. So this is very important. Also, inviting them in Islam or to Islam, not necessarily by words. It can be by your actions. It can be by your actions. There's so many beautiful stories can explain this meaning clearly. I know one brother, he used to work for a company. And so many people embraced Islam because the way this brother deal with his co-workers. He deal with them with honesty. He's always on time. He's always smiling. He's patient. He always care about others. And he would never do what they know it's forbidden in his religion. So you know that this person consistent in his religion. Also, your actions speak louder than your words. Your actions speak louder than your words. Advising and cooperation in what is good and beneficial for the society. We know that when the Prophet ﷺ migrated to Medina, he had a treaty with the Jewish in Medina. One of the points that was in that treaty, that they will advise each other, that they will help each other in what is good, and they will protect each other from whoever will attack their country. So you're living in a society, even if it's not Muslim society, you should deal with them in the same manners that the Prophet ﷺ treated the Jewish in Medina in that time. So cooperating or building allies in the society with organizations, with individuals, being part of being part of organization which promoting good and they promote good causes is something highly recommended for our Muslims brothers and sisters who living in a non-Muslim society, to be part of the society, to contribute to the society, And by the way, there is a great opportunity in the volunteer work, and I would love to see my Muslim brothers and sisters participating in the volunteer work, because this has so much impact on the community and the society. I remember in Houston when we had so many refugees from Louisiana after Katrina, there's around maybe 10,000 Muslims participating in serving and helping those refugees and providing for them a meal in one day. I was so happy, so pleased to see so many Muslims participating in such service. Interacting with or the interaction with the non-Muslim members in the society. Make sure that when you interact with people, you interact with good manners, kindness, to be generous, to be gentle. So kindness, gentleness, fairness is something the Muslim should always carry. This is the characteristic of the Muslim. You should be fair. You should be just. You should be kind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to be kind with our enemy. So what about people who are your neighbors? People who are your co-workers? People who are studying with you? People who maybe they are related to you? Your relatives? So you should be more kind, more generous, more gentle with them. Also, the issue of greeting. Some Muslims ask if it's permissible for me to greet a non-Muslims, to say, to tell him hi or good morning or good afternoon, what's happening, how are you, what's up, whatever you want to say. Yes, it's permissible to say all these things. Actually, it's from the good manners to do that. Even though some scholars, furthermore, some scholars said that you are allowed to say Assalamu alaikum to them. And this is one opinion, an opinion by some scholars, that you're allowed to say Assalamu alaikum. Based on a hadith reported in Al-Bukhari, hadith Usama ibn Zayd radiallahu anh, that the Prophet ﷺ passed by a group of people, among them Jews. There were Jews and disbelievers and believers, Muslims. And the Prophet ﷺ addressed them all by saying, Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum. And if they greet you by Assalamu alaikum, you should say Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Some Muslims think that we should only say wa alaykum. This is only, the Prophet ﷺ said that only when some people used to greet him with the word assam, which it means death upon you. So the Prophet ﷺ said, same to you. And Nabi ﷺ, the Prophet Muhammad, doesn't want to start argument. Say, why are you saying death to me? Then the person would say, oh, I didn't say Sam, I said salam, but you misunderstand me. So it will open the door for argument. The Prophet ﷺ wanted to close the door, so he said, same to you. Then he said, Ya Aisha, Allah will accept from us and will not accept from them. So you say wa alaykum only if you don't know what exactly they said. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us, if anyone greet us with a greeting, we should reply to it with something similar or better. And you're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put His mercy and bless them. And when Allah put His mercy and bless somebody, no doubt He will guide him. Are we allowed to exchange gifts? Yes, exchanging gifts. You have a neighbor who just moved in, go ahead and visit him and give him gift. Al-Bukhari has 2 chapters in his Sahih, which is accepting gifts from non-Muslim and giving gifts to the non-Muslims. The Prophet ﷺ accepted gifts from non-Muslims. The kings of Egypt sent him gifts and he accepted sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So exchanging gifts is permissible between Muslim and non-Muslims. Also eating from their food. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed us to eat from their food. Allowed us to eat from the food slaughter or the animal to slaughter by a Christian or a Jew. If He allowed us to eat from their food, to eat from their dhabiha or the animal they slaughter, you think why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that Muslim will be part of these societies and they will be members also in our society. As it in so many countries, you go to Egypt, to Syria, you will see a lot of non-Muslims living in the Muslim society. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that this will happen. So allow this kind of interacting between Muslim and non-Muslim, but they have to slaughter it in the way that Muslims slaughter their animals. Intermarriage. A Muslim male allowed to marry a Christian or a Jew or a Jewish female if she is a woman who don't practice adultery or practice fornication. It is allowed for a Muslim to marry a such woman, but not the other way around. A Christian or a Jew or a Jewish man cannot marry a Muslim female, as it's been said very clearly in Quran, in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is also another way of interacting with the society, building a closer relationship with the society by marrying from them, having your in-laws from, maybe they will not be Muslims, and they will, if you marry a non-Muslim female, a Christian or Jewish female, that means her family will become your in-laws and will build a relationship and ties between you and them for the good cause, Also, I said eating from their food and intermarriage, also inheritance. Muslim, generally speaking, not allowed to inherit a non-Muslim. As the Prophet ﷺ said, the Muslim cannot inherit a non-Muslim. But the ulama said, you can take it not in the form of inheritance. You can take it because you don't want this money to be waste. But also it is allowed for a Muslim, to write in his will money for his relatives. As Safiya did, the aunt of the Prophet ﷺ, she wrote in her will that some of her wealth will go to some of her relatives who were not Muslims, So this is permissible. Also giving charity to non-Muslim is permissible. Giving charity to non-Muslim is permissible. And in general socializing, visiting, making friends in a sense that they are all working together or studying together, it's permissible if it will not cause that the Muslim will adopt bad habits or change his manners. And all these things would not contradict being Muslim and being honored to be Muslim and to believe that Islam is the right religion, because they have their religion and you have your religion. And inshallah, there is more details might come in the next episode and related to this issue. Unfortunately, I have to end here. Time is up. So I'll see you inshallah in near future with the next episode. وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.